Okay, so I am sitting here with my dear sister friend Angie and your daughter Tamika. I love you both so much. And who
Same
would have
here.
ever thought that this shared loss that we all have would connect us on so much of a deeper level? And I really wanted to pull you aside from the group because it's very unique what you both are experiencing. You both are experiencing grief. You lost your son, you lost your son. You lost a grandson.
Yes.
So it's a double heaviness, a sense of loss that you have to work through that. And then really it's three, Angie, because you're also concerned about your daughter.
You are so correct.
How can I support my daughter, heal my heart for my grandson, heal my heart for my son? So there's a triple issue here that we're dealing with, which I find very unique, Tamika. And I know you also are concerned about your mom, because it doesn't matter how long ago it was that you lost Derek. It doesn't matter how long ago you lost Jordan. That is an empty space that will always connect the two of you. And I'm sure there are times, and let's go there. I bet there's times when you can't even talk to each other, or you're at a loss for words. Can you just kind of help us with that? How could we encourage someone that is saying, I don't know what to say to my loved one who's hurting? Because the reality is, maybe we can't do anything.
Well, for me, it's she doesn't have to say anything because she's living it, and so she knows. And so it's just a place where she just reaches out and is there for me without words. And then she also encourages me through our faith to that it's okay to cry, that it's okay to be in that place, and that we have to be in that place in order to heal and understand how to endure in it.
Yeah.
Not
And
necessarily
you had to
get
watch
past
her.
it.
You had to watch her go through it first.
I had to watch her go through it first, and we all experience loss, but there's nothing like losing your child.
Yes.
And so while she had lost her son, I lost a brother.
See? Yeah.
It was just a different form of grief, and my brother was my heart.
Wow.
But
Yes.
as I was able to understand that he's in a better place and so forth, that was quite different than what the grief that she was experiencing, and I didn't understand it till I lost my son. There is no transitioning to understanding that they are in a better place.
Yes.
It is a constant emptiness that you experience, and so it wasn't until I lost Jordan that I understood the difference between losing a brother and losing a son.
Yeah. And I was at both of their services.
Yes.
And I felt the pain. And then, Tamika, you came to my son's services.
Absolutely.
And I know that you came at a very critical time, but we didn't know how much more time Jordan was going to be here.
Absolutely.
And yet both of you showed up to show me support. And that was just so major to me. It showed such a strength and such a sisterhood and a sense of, as you said, your faith. The things that we have to do, things we have to show up for other people.
Right.
Show up for mom, show up for daughter, show up for friend. And that circle of love that we have is something that is very heartwarming. Angie, what would you tell Tamika right now that she may not know about the process of healing that you're going through?
There is a process, darling, but we don't know what it is. We maneuver daily, and we ask God's guidance, and that's all we can rely on, because there's not a setup, there's not a book, there's no standards. The least little thing, you can wake up smiling
Yeah.
and end up crying the rest of the day. So just knowing that you have loved ones that are supporting you, because if you were out there all alone, what would be the purpose?
Right.
So all I can tell you is, if I can't say it on my bad days, I can text it. And I can just call and say I love you, because I'm not able
Right. Absolutely.
to give any more that day, but I've given you all I have for that day.
And
And
that's what I'm
that's
so
what I
proud
do.
about you, is you've learned some boundaries, you've learned self-care, you've learned to say enough, you've learned to say I can't do it today. And then sometimes Tamika, Angie and I will talk, and I'll say, how's Tamika? And we'll just pray, and we'll laugh, and we'll say, she's not talking right now, she's not answering the phone right now. And I'm so glad we understand that, because
Right.
there are people that want to help someone that's in a grieving process, and they can get a little anxious or offended.
Offended.
You know what I mean? And that never happens for you because you understand that she needs that time and she needs that space.
And I understand you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of the three of us. And other ladies also. I'm not limiting that.
Right.
But I'm saying we're on that page. That's so beautiful. We don't have to speak it. But our hearts tells it all. And it's just amazing that you just say, hey, this was a bad week.
Yeah. This was a bad
It
day.
was-
And I
that
think
day.
back, you know, Jewel, you lost JJ in September. I lost Jordan the day before Thanksgiving, and yet you still found the strength during your grief to come to Jordan's memorial and stand up there and, you know, speak about my son, even though you were in the midst of your grief. And it is a sisterhood, unfortunately,
Yeah.
that we share around that.
Yes, yes.
But I drew strength from you.
Oh,
as
wow.
well.
And it's also an act of service. We're supposed to serve one another.
Right.
We're supposed to comfort one another. And if I stayed in my little corner of grief, I was happy to be able to serve. I got
Yes.
to speak at Derek's service, and you know, what better gift could you give to someone that you
Right.
love than your presence, showing up, you know?
Yes.
That's I mean, I couldn't do
And
anything
getting outside
else.
yourself for a moment to be
Yes.
there for
To be
somebody
there,
else.
and you did that for me at JJ's, and it was just a beautiful exchange. And when I think about our history, how we all came together, who would have ever thought that this would be a common
shared
thread, you
experience,
know?
right.
And so for you to come today, it just blesses my heart, because I know that somebody's watching these series is going to be empowered and encouraged and recognize that, yeah, this is a unfamiliar ground.
Right.
It is, how do we create a new normal? I love it when you just said JJ, like my heart skipped a beat. You know, when I say Jordan, you say Derek. And I love helping people to know, just say their name.
Right.
Is
say
that
their
something?
name.
Just say Derek.
Don't
Just
be
say Jordan.
afraid,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just say JJ.
Don't forget them.
Yeah, just
Thank
you don't want anybody to
Right.
forget them.
Right.
And it's like, to me, that is for the rest of my life. I'm going to make sure somebody knows that JJ lives here.
Right.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean? And even though I didn't get to know Derek that much, I got to see Jordan in the hospital. You honored me by letting me come, because I know you were very protective. And that's another thing about this grief journey, is that when that time starts getting closer, we do get protective of our loved ones. And sometimes people don't understand why you're saying no company today, no visitors today. But my heart goes out to you, Angie, because I know that Tamika and I got to say goodbye,
Yes,
and you didn't.
I didn't.
And that makes me sad sometimes. And then sometimes I'm like, God, maybe Derek knew Mom should not be there,
Yeah.
because he
Yes.
he made a choice.
Yes, yes.
And I just pray all the time that you don't have any sense of guilt. And I don't think you do you? You
No.
have no sense of guilt, no sense of shame.
No. But the beauty of it was, and Tamika, you can correct me, but I just think I was the best mommy ever to a disabled child.
Yes.
I gave him my all.
Yes.
And so that's my belief, Tamika and Jewel,
Yeah.
that if you give your all, when God gifts you with a blessing, and when it's gone, you've enjoyed it.
No regrets.
No
Yes.
regrets.
Yeah.
Right.
And I bet you learned how to be a good mom from your mom. Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
You and Robbie, excellent parents and excellent grandparents, you and David. Just, I mean, to watch the family unity that you had, how you celebrated him and loved him and made sure he enjoyed every moment. And
Right.
you did
Yes.
so many family things together. You can't do anything but rejoice for that.
Likewise, Jewel, I saw at JJ's funeral,
Whoa.
I saw that he had a spirit that touched so many people. And now I knew, having known you, where that came from. And it was, he lived it, he manifested, and it was beautiful how many people he touched just by being who he was. So.
And you didn't know it.
I didn't know that.
And
We
that
didn't
was
know
the
that
blessing.
about Derek.
And
either.
And you didn't know that about
Jordan.
Jordan.
I didn't know
And
that
they're
about
still
Jordan.
celebrating his
They're
life,
still
you know? And so, again, that is the beauty, that if we can put that much into our children that they can leave a legacy, we can hold our heads up high and say, thank you, Lord, for the time that you gave us.
Right.
But then the flip side is that there are difficult days. There are
Oh,
days when you
yes.
can't breathe. There are days when you just don't understand. There are days, you know, all three of us have husbands. I'm going to be honest. There's some days I just like, don't he say his name, you know, comfort me. And I realize this is a do-it-yourself thing. And
everybody grieves
everybody,
differently.
that's it to make it.
See, you asking me to be here today, that's not how I grieve. I retreat in my own place, and my mother even knows that.
Right, right.
So, thank you
Yeah.
for inviting me here today, and the importance of getting out and connecting with other people, because it is so easy
Yeah.
just to slip into your own grief and to not want to connect with anybody.
Right.
So that is really important. I hope us coming here today helps others realize
I know
that
it
you
will.
have to get out of yourself and connect.
You have
As difficult as it is, because otherwise you can just slip into
You just slip into such a
the
place
sorrow
of darkness and
and
sorrow.
darkness.
And you think it's just you
Yeah.
in this little world.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you realize and recognize, hey, other women are trying too to move past that grief.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, baby steps, whatever, we're still trying. That's what's good about it.
Yeah.
And even in our grief, you know, not understanding why, but understanding that there's a testimony that we need to share.
Right.
Yes.
That you can't hold inside of yourself. You need to share it because it may be the message that someone else needs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your story, your pain, your grief, and how you're enduring.
Mm-hmm. Well, Tamika, what would you say to your mom that maybe you haven't said, or you really want her to know how she and your dad have been supportive to you? I know you could not have done it without them, and your husband, of course, too.
Right.
But now that she's sitting here with you, what would you say to your mom?
Well, I want to say that knowing that I was losing Jordan, having you and his papa, his nana and his papa in his life,
Yeah.
he lived for that, and you guys were there every moment of his life. You taking care of him, the twins when they were born, and coming to the hospital, and Papa and Jordan, you know, bantering back and forth in the hospital. I just want to say thank you because you showed me what it means to be an excellent mother to my child,
Yes.
even when they are struggling.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I had the best example of how to pull myself together
Yeah.
and fight for my child.